In the beautiful village of Machi lived a young lady named Machi. She is a tall, dark, beautiful lady who owns a small shop in the market where she sells food. Every morning, Machi wakes up to prepare the food she will sell in the market. But no matter how hard Machi tries in her food business, she doesn't make sales, and this makes her so sad and discouraged. Machi was into tailoring and was making some progress and managing it. Not until she visited her friend Ginika in her shop, where she sells food. Ginika is a popular cook known for her delicious delicacies and irresistible food. Her food is so good that people come from far and near. Ginika has been in this business for years and managed to build a good customer base. She is very well-mannered and attends to her customers friendly. Machi, who visited her friend one day, was amazed and surprised how people gathered, struggling and pushing themselves just to be served first by Ginika. "Wow, this is a good business," she said, envious of the people gathered around her friend to buy her food. She concluded she would close down her tailoring work and go into the food business like her friend Ginika so she could be popular like her. One day, Machi gathered the courage and visited her friend at her house to discuss her intention of going into the food business. Her friend was surprised and said, "Machi, it has not been long since you opened your tailoring shop. What will happen to it? Don't tell me you want to close it. Ginika, you won't understand. It is not moving the way I want. Can't you see how people fill your shop to buy your food? Machi, please don't compare. You know I have struggled for years and put in effort to grow my customer base. Please, I will advise you to be patient with your work." "No, I have made up my mind," Machi said. Ginika, who did not want to be seen as a bad friend, had to give up and allow her to follow her mind. Machi left Ginika's house feeling angry. So, Ginika wants to be the only popular cook in the village. "That is why she is advising me otherwise," she said. I must go into it whether she likes it or not." So the next day, Machi started looking for a space in the market where she could sell her food. She was so interested in staying around Ginika's shop so she could get customers from hers. Finally, she got a shop not too far from Ginika's shop. Ginika, a free-spirited person, congratulated her and wished her well. Machi started her food business. Early in the morning, she would wake up, wash her pots, and start preparing the food she would sell in the market. But no matter how much effort she put into cooking her food, she was not making many sales. She tried adding more spices, but still, nothing changed. Some people that patronized her liked to buy on credit, some would buy and never come back again, while others would always compare how Ginika's food remains the best in the village. Machi would always get angry anytime she heard people singing praises of her friend's food. Ginika and Machi have been friends since childhood and were known by the villagers. Ginika has always been the lucky one, even though Machi was more beautiful and well-endowed than her. But people would always choose Ginika, especially men, who would always ask her out whenever Machi and Ginika went out. This always made Machi angry, and she started developing a little jealousy and hatred for her friend Ginika, which she managed to hide. One day, Machi came back from the market with her cooler filled with food she did not sell. She was so frustrated that things were not working the way she wanted. "What is happening? Is it not the same food I sell that Ginika is selling? Why am I not yet popular or at least sell half of my food? People prefer to always choose her food over mine." This got her so angry that she had a sleepless night and was restless about what to do. The next morning, she woke up weak and decided not to cook. "After all the food I have been cooking, I have been losing money and pouring it away because of bad sales. Maybe I should meet Ginika and ask her to teach me what she uses in her food. I need to be more popular than her. I need to make money," she said, her face filled with determination and jealousy. Later in the evening, when she knew Ginika would be back from work, she went to her house to discuss what was bothering her. "Machi, you did not open today," Ginika asked, feeling concerned. "I hope all is well. How can all be well while I don't make any sales?" "Machi, calm down. Rome wasn't built in a day. Take your time, improve your business, and watch it grow." "Please stop, Ginika. Enough of the preaching," Machi interrupted. "Anyway, I am here for you to teach me the secret spice you use in your business." "Which one is secret spice?" Ginika asked, surprised. I mean what you use to make your food delicious. Machi stammered a little bit shy. Machi, I am surprised you are saying this. Have you forgotten my mother was very popular for her delicious food before she died? You should know I learned from her. I don't use spices, talk less of secret spices, on my food. All my food is naturally made by me, she said, trying to advise Machi, who was not interested in Ginika's preaching. So does that mean you will not teach me? Machi asked angrily. There is nothing to teach you. I make my food naturally like everyone else. Okay then, keep your secret recipe to yourself. Machi walked out on her, even upon hearing Ginika calling her to come back. When she reached her house, she was so angry, jealous, and determined to go to any level to surpass her friend. So, it's me Ginika is advising? Don't worry, Ginika, I must surpass you whether you like it or not. One day, as Machi was coming back from her shop, filled with sadness because of no sales again, she noticed there was a very old woman walking quietly with a stick in her hand. She was so sad that she passed the woman without greeting her. Machi. The woman called her quietly. Machi turned back and was surprised how the woman knew her name. She stopped. Why is your face filled with sorrow and sadness? There is nothing impossible for the king python to do. The help you seek will be solved by the king python, the woman said and handed her a letter. Read this direction and follow it, your problem will be solved. Before Machi could utter a word, the woman disappeared. Jesus! She shouted. Is she a spirit? She thought and started running out of fear. That day, when she reached home, she sat down and opened the letter to know what was written there. The king python solves anything impossible. Seek whatever you want and it shall be solved. Come to the dark forest tomorrow towards evening time. Dark forest? Her eyes widened. Isn't that the place we were warned not to enter by the king because of the evil that happens there? She said, shocked. No, I can't. She kept the letter and decided not to go. The next day, she prepared her food to sell and put in all her best. Still, the people that bought it were so few. She became more frustrated when she passed Ginika's shop and saw the way people gathered around her, singing praises of her food and how Ginika was serving them happily. No, I must do something. I must. She rushed back home, looked for the letter, and read it again. I must go to the dark forest. If I can get my help there, I don't mind taking the risk. She dressed up, picked the letter, and hurriedly left her house, being careful not to be noticed by anyone. She walked for hours in the forest, exhausted and about to turn back when she noticed a small hut in the center of the forest with light shining out from there. Could this be the place? She thought. Let me try and see. She walked inside the hut, which appeared small outside but was very big inside. She saw a man dressed in black cloth with a white long beard and a small snake around his neck. Machi was scared of the man. Could he be the king python? I was told to come here that the help I seek is here. She brought out the letter and showed the man, stammering and scared. Oh well, my daughter, there is nothing too big for the king python to do. But note that whatever you seek has a task and challenge. So if you can't do the task, you can go back now, before it's too late. Machi was scared, his harsh voice made her tremble. Without thinking much about what the man said, she replied, I will do any task. I will do any challenge as far as I get the help I seek. Ha 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 ha, the man laughed and murmured some incantation that only him could hear. Okay then, this is the task you shall undertake. You will be here for 2 days. You shall sleep with a dead man, a ghost. Machi shouted in fear, shut up and lower your voice. You have chosen your path, so there's no going back. Listen and allow me to speak. You shall stay in the other room. He pointed. Tonight, before you sleep, go close to the mirror in the room. Use this substance, stand in front of the mirror, say your request, and blow this substance into the mirror. Don't be scared of what you see. He will not kill you. You have to sleep with the dead man who will appear from the mirror. You will do this tonight and the next night. He handed her a towel. Make sure to clean him with this towel. There's a bucket filled with water in the room. Use it with the towel and clean him up very well. On the 3rd day, you will be free, everything you need, food and clothes, are in that room, he said. Go. Machi, afraid to provoke the man, entered the room. She sat on the bed and wondered how a small hut outside could appear so beautiful. Everything she needed was in the room. When she remembered her task, she felt scared but determined to complete it. As night fell, Machi stood in front of the mirror and began to voice her desires. I want to be more popular than Ginika. I want men to flock around me. I want to be successful, she said, murmuring more of her heart's desires. Standing in front of the mirror, she blew the substance wrapped in pepper 3 times. To her surprise, on the third blow, a huge dark man appeared from the mirror and walked out. He lay down on the bed as if he were being controlled. Terrified but needing to be strong, Machi gathered her courage and slept with the man. She took out the towel and the bucket of water and cleaned him. She repeated this on both nights. On the third day, the room was opened for her. She emerged with the towel in her hand and handed it to the king python. Oh well, your task has been completed. You did well. You will have to do this every 3 years to renew it. Take this towel. Every morning before you cook, use this towel to clean your pot very well and never wash it. Congratulations. You have successfully completed your task. You can go now. Just make sure not to wash the towel or be seen by anyone. Ginika, who had not seen her friend, was worried and had no one to ask about her since Machi was an orphan who lived alone. She prayed and hoped she was okay wherever she was. Machi left the dark forest with the towel carefully placed in her bag. She felt ashamed for sleeping with a ghost, she felt bad and disappointed, but her greed for success wouldn't allow her to do the right thing. Quietly, she walked into her house to avoid being noticed by anyone. That night, she slept happily, eagerly awaiting the next morning to go to the market and perform the magic. Early the next morning, she woke up and took out the pot she used for cooking. She went inside and brought out the towel, carefully carrying the pot into her room. She used the towel to clean it very well while pouring out her heart's desires. After hiding the towel inside her bag, she prepared her food and took it to the market. She looked so happy and excited, but when she arrived at her shop, no one came for about 30 minutes. Ah, she exclaimed. Does this mean what I didn't work? She said bitterly. After a few minutes, people began coming one by one, and before she knew it, her shop was filled with customers enjoying her food and praising her. Machi was overjoyed, singing the praises of the Python King silently in her heart. After some time, Machi began making progress in her food business. She became so popular that people came from far and wide to taste her food. She made so much money that her friend Ginika became worried and concerned about her newfound success. Machi had stopped talking to her ever since she asked if there was a secret spice involved. There was no way Ginika could inquire about her success without minding her own business. Machi couldn't contain her excitement. She now had everything she needed, men flocking around her asking for marriage, her business booming. And she was now more popular than her friend Ginika. She felt happy and fulfilled, but little did she know something bigger and different was coming her way. One morning, Machi woke up feeling dizzy and tired. She felt so weak that she couldn't prepare the food she would sell. This continued for a few days until she gathered the strength to go to the hospital. She was shocked by what her test results said. Congratulations, Machi. You are pregnant, the doctor said, happy for her. She stood up quickly, shocked and scared. Pregnant? Pregnant for who? She shouted. The doctor asked if she was okay. Machi left the hospital confused and worried. How can this be possible? She murmured on her way home. When she reached home, she opened the letter to read it again. She started crying, trying to remember how it happened. I haven't slept with any man for so long, how is this possible? She thought. Then she heard a quiet voice, the ghost. Her face filled with shock. Don't tell me I am pregnant for a dead man. No. It can't be possible. How can a dead man get a living woman pregnant? She said, running to see the king python. She walked quickly to the dark forest, watching her back to avoid being followed. Luckily, the small hut was still there, light shining out from it. She ran inside and saw the man sitting on his throne. Please help me. Please help me. You greedy child. Ever since you succeeded. Have you come back to thank me? Please forgive me. I was carried away, she said, crying. Please help me. Doctor said I am pregnant, she stammered, her face filled with fear. How is this possible? She cried loudly. I am finished. Ha 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 ha, the man said. Had you come earlier to thank me for the work I did for you, I would have noticed this and given you a substance to take. But it's too late, I can't help you. The young man you slept with had a wish to have a child. His wife had been childless for years, and unfortunately, he was killed in an accident. You did not get pregnant by sleeping with him. He invoked the pregnancy in you. It is his wish for you to carry his baby. Ha 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 ha, he laughed. Go and take care of the baby. No, no. I can't, she said, crying. I can't be carrying a ghost child. Leave my hut before I strike you deaf. He shouted rudely. Machi ran out of the forest, crying, I am finished. I am finished. When she reached her house, she couldn't sleep. Reality set in, and she remembered the deal she made of her own free will. What have I gotten myself into? She cried. As her belly began to grow, the villagers murmured whenever she passed by, wondering if she was pregnant. Machi, unable to hear the gossip, rushed to the hospital to abort the baby. She was given a drug, but it didn't work. She tried herbal remedies, but those didn't work either. She kept visiting different hospitals, looking for solutions, but the more she took the drugs, the more her belly grew. Machi couldn't believe this was happening to her. She kept seeing herself making love in dreams with the king python and the ghost man. She was scared to sleep, afraid to see the two men. She closed down her shop for a while to find a solution, but solutions weren't coming. Over my dead body will I have this child, she cried, locked inside her room. One day, she decided to visit a popular native doctor known for solving every spiritual problem. Young lady. What you seek is hard. I will give you a substance to take, but it's a 50/50th chance, you might die or survive it. Are you ready? Yes. Anything that will make me flush this bastard I am carrying, she replied. She was given a substance and directed on how to take it. When she reached home, she brought out a cup and mixed the drug as instructed. Shockingly, she heard a loud voice. The ghost man appeared to her. Don't try to take that substance to kill my child, or else you will die with the child. Pour that substance away and stay alive to bear my child. Machi, shocked to see the ghost in her house, shouted, over my dead body will I ever give birth to a ghost child. Without thinking, Machi hurriedly drank the substance. You stubborn woman. Your greed for success will take you to the land of the dead. See you on the other side, foolish woman, he said, then disappeared. Like I care, Machi said, thinking the words were meaningless. Suddenly, she heard a knock on her door. It was her friend Ginika. Ginika came in. My friend, Machi, I haven't seen you in a while. No matter what happens, you're still my friend, Ginika said. Machi, touched by Ginika's words, felt ashamed of how she had treated her. I'm sorry, Ginika. I don't know my fate, she replied, tears welling in her eyes. What do you mean? Ginika asked, concern etching her features. Machi tearfully explained her predicament and apologized for her past behavior. I was so jealous and greedy, she sobbed. I took a substance to abort the baby. Abort? What? Ginika exclaimed, her heart racing. She noticed Machi clutching her stomach in pain. What's wrong? Why are you holding your stomach? Ginika, it hurts. I'm feeling terrible pain. Help me, please. Machi cried, growing weak and dizzy. Jesus. What have you gotten yourself into, my friend? Ginika gasped. Wait. I'll rush out and call for help. No. Stay with me. I'm dying. Machi pleaded, her voice faint. No, you will not die. I'm coming, Ginika reassured her before rushing out of the room. Before Ginika could return with the villagers who could help, tragedy struck. When they finally reached Machi's home, they found her lifeless in her room, tears silently streaming down her cheeks. Ginika shook her, desperate for a response, but Machi remained still. Devastated, Ginika and the villagers wept openly, mourning the loss of their friend. Machi was buried in her father's compound, a somber reminder of the price of ambition. Ginika vowed to share her story. Rushing to succeed can lead to disastrous consequences. Life is a gradual process. Just because something works for one person doesn't mean it will work for another. Take it one step at a time. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, share it with your family and friends, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more captivating stories like this. Goodbye.